Hey you! Hey you over there!
So I heard you want to get into the Fate franchise. Yeah. Okay then. Oh, here you go. Take a look at this graph.
What the hell is this?
Okay, I'm just pulling your leg here. In this video, I'll be providing 2 methods you can use to start the Fate franchise, because that's not a milk topic. Nah, no way. For our methods, first up, we have the Sonic method. It's quick, easy, and will get you up to speed with the series. The second method, aka can be, time consuming.
100 hours!
But it gives more depth to the series, and I highly recommend this method because it will simplify the watch order. And for the overall experience of the franchise, this method's the best. It might even give you an interest to start Kinoko Nasu's other works, such as Tsukihime, The Garden of Sinners, and Witch on the Holy Night, which all take place in the same universe called the Nasuverse. Ooh. Now let's talk about Fate. Fate Stay Night is a visual novel released in 2004, written by Kinoko Nasu and illustrated by Takuchi Takashi. Fate Stay Night is about the Holy Grail War, which is a battle royale like in the video games, where 7 mages summon 7 heroes from human history or fiction. All these 7 heroes are summoned are all split into different classes such as Saber, Archer, Lancer, Rider, Caster, Assassin, and Berserker. The victor of the Holy Grail War will claim ownership of the Grail and get a wish granted by it. Stay Night consists of 3 routes: Fate, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel, in given order. Each route has their own heroine, with Saber being the heroine of the Fate route, Rin of Unlimited Blade Works, and Sakura of Heaven's Feel. Now you're probably wondering, what is that? What are routes, right? Routes are story branches that are created from the protagonist making a decision early on in the story that causes divergence in the timeline. It's basically a butterfly effect. In the prologue, the first 2 days remain the same in all the routes. It's when the main character, Shiro, makes a choice in the story that causes the timeline divergence. Prequel to Stay Night was written in 2006 in the form of a light novel called Fate Zero, written by Gen Urobuchi. Ufotable has adapted 2 of the Stay Night routes, Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel. They have also adapted the prequel Stay Night, Fate Zero. Dean Studio has also adapted 2 of the routes of Stay Night, Fate, which is the first route, and Unlimited Blade Works.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Method 1. Easy mode. To start the franchise, watch Ufotable's anime adaptation of Unlimited Blade Works first, Heaven's Feel after, and for the finale, watch the prequel, Fate Zero. I didn't include Dean's Fate route adaptation, even though you're supposed to watch it before Unlimited Blade Works, because if you start off with Dean, probably just drop Fate honestly, and you won't get to see any of the good stuff. The adaptation is mediocre, they mix some elements of the Unlimited Blade Works route with it, and some important moments just fall flat. I think you should only watch if you're itching for more Stay Night content. It's not something I highly recommend since it could just bore you. Now, reasons as to why I recommend starting off with Stay Night over Zero is order of creation. Since the source of material of Fate is Stay Night, it's foundation of the Fate franchise that establishes the universe. It's laying down all the groundwork for the other spin-offs to work. This still applies even if Table adapted Zero before Fate Stay Night. Another reason is that the series faces a conundrum. Stay Night and Zero both spoil each other.
Huh? What are you supposed to do then?
Well, I'll tell you what we do. We do math, equations, physiques, coding. Root squared over 5 equals 10. Zero is a shorter story than Stay Night, it has no OVAs, alternate endings, etc., and therefore has less stuff to spoil the viewer on. Whereas, if you start off with Zero, you have more stuff to get spoiled on, since you're going to get spoiled on 3 different routes, which are all basically 3 different stories, and with one of them being extremely different from the rest. The episode length of Unlimited Blade Works alone is the same as Zero. They're both 25 episodes long, but Unlimited Blade Works has an alternate ending OVA. There's also the movie trilogy of Heaven's Feel, where each movie is about 2 hours long. If we include the 2006 Fate route adaptation by Dean in this, a semi-long series with 24 episodes.
Dude, that's like 2.5 Fate Zeros you're spoiling yourself on, bro.
Now I know I said bad things about Dean's adaptation earlier, but that doesn't mean I hate it. I actually enjoyed watching it. The art style is just like the visual novel, and I think they're amazing at capturing aesthetic moments from the VN. Also, as one of the best soundtracks in Fate, it's better than Table's Unlimited Blade Works soundtrack in my opinion, and I think they did some scenes better than UFO too, like Saber's summoning scene, which I won't show because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But I'll share my thoughts about it. The affordable scene of Saber getting summoned is just all fast and instant, boom, over, done, get to the next scene, chop chop, I'm not getting paid overtime for this. While Dean knows this is an iconic key scene. The pacing, the focus, and choice of music is just sublime. Method 2. The most supreme, Chad, Alpha, Sigma, Gamma method. Reading the visual novel. Wait. Now I know novel sounds like words and all, but look! It has visual in it too. You know what that means? That's right, it has pictures! It's like the Hunter x Hunter manga, but with art. What? You still don't want to play the visual novel, you fried dopamine goblin? Must be all those YouTube and TikTok shorts, huh?
Read, nigga, read!
Anyways, moving on, I'll show you what to expect from a visual novel. A visual novel is mostly static. There's animations, but you'll spend most of your time looking at still images. The characters have sprite sheets with different expressions and emotes, as voice acting, and a good soundtrack. Let me play a clip from the visual novel for you to see it with your own eyes. See? Pictures and music, different emotes, facial animations, whatever. It just didn't have any voice acting because they couldn't afford voice actors. Oh, yeah. The game is 70 hours long. Anyways, back on topic, I think reading the visual novel is the best way to start. Yeah, watching the anime is easy and all. It's very accessible, easy to consume, but you won't be getting the full picture of Stay Night, because UFO Table's Stay Night adaptation is incomplete. They're missing the Fate route. It's like a kid's meal with no toy, Popeye's biscuit with no water, pizza without pineapple, Prisma fans without the gel cell, Andrew Tate without human trafficking. This missing piece also complicates the watch order since you're supposed to experience the Fate route first before the other two routes. There's other missing aspects too, like the death. The death gets lost because Fate is a dialogue heavy series, and so a lot of this dialogue just gets cut in the adaptations for pacing reasons, which I think is fair since anime is a medium which primarily relies on visuals. Monogatari, it's one of the only animes I've seen that has successfully incorporated a bunch of words into it. But the cutting of monologue ends up hurting the main character since a lot of his monologues are eternal. Ufotable tries to circumvent this issue with visuals, a show don't tell approach, which I think is a smart idea, but the director, Miro Takahiro, didn't do a good job at utilizing it. It's only shown twice, and the second time was just terrible. Shiro just has this traumatized look on his face. Like damn, he must have been to the FGO subreddit. Anyways, what I showed is about it. There's no other kind of visuals to show his mental state. On the other hand, this was handled better in Heaven's Feel. It's probably due to the change in directors. The director of Heaven's Field is Sudo Tomonori, and the director of Unlimited Blade Works is Miro Takahiro. But Heaven's Feel has its own set of problems. Since Heaven's Feel is a movie trilogy, a lot of stuff was cut so they can wrap up everything in 3 movies. Screen time for 2 important characters in the route got cut, and explain the ending? Nah, forget about it, just cut it. They expect you to read the visual novel, or maybe just do your own research to understand what happened in the ending. As for the other characters, like Rin and Saber, both are caricatures of themselves. What I mean by this is that they have a trait that just gets exaggerated, ends up becoming the focus of their character, making them feel one-dimensional. To be honest, I could be wrong about Rin though. I'm just giving my thoughts about her from an Unlimited Blade Works rewatch from around 3 years ago. I swear that her tsundere trait got a buff. She's always blushing every time she's on screen. She's so defenseless. To me, she just feels like this, "Aw, cute blushing waifu" character, which I'm sure a lot of people like. They're probably watching compilations of her blushing.
Ren, blushing, compilation.
Oh god, I'm gonna cool.
And Saber? She's fine in the Stay Night adaptations, but Zero might skew your perception of her. Because in Zero, Udo Butcher made her into this ignorant, idealistic character whose entire personality revolves around chivalry. And because of this, she gets dunked on for the rest of the show. Epic. Now as for the music, I think the soundtrack in the visual novel is better than the anime. Now you may think that the visual novel's ball sack is on my chin at this point, which you're wrong, it's in my throat. Even in this video, all I'm using is soundtracks from the visual novel. I've been slowly brainwashing you through the course of this video. Yeah. Don't get me wrong though, I can say for a fact that all of main Fate animes have an amazing soundtrack, and Yuki Kaijira, who you might have heard of, or at least maybe heard of music from other animes, is the composer for 3 different Fate series soundtracks: Fate Zero, Heaven's Feel, and El Malloy. She's also composed music for another Natsuverse series, Kata no Kyokai. You honestly can't go wrong with Yuki Kaijira, but to me, I think she has a fatal flaw, which is that all her music kind of sounds similar. Hey, I've heard this before. I've definitely heard this before. After listening to her soundtrack several times, you may get to the point where you ask yourself questions such as, Do I have dementia? Do I have dementia? Where was I? Oh yeah, the soundtrack. Now, in the visual novel, you get 2 soundtracks, the original and remix. And you're not limited to playing with only one track, you can mix them together. The Mushroom Man himself is giving you the aux cord. Now that I'm done forcing the visual novel down your throat,
You are done.
you're free to watch whatever you want. But from all the spin-offs, I would recommend Lord and Malloy Case Files. It's somewhat connected to the main timeline. If you really like Stay Night and want more of that, watch Dean's Stay Night adaptation from 2006, Today's Menu for the Emiya Family, which is a slice of life mixed with cooking, and Carnival Phantasm, a comedy. The only problem with Carnival Phantasm is that it features characters from Nasu's other works, besides Fate such as Tsukihime and the Garden of Sinners. Tsukihime currently has no adaptation, besides the one that the fandom pretends doesn't exist. If you want to get into it, you have to read the visual novel. It currently has a remake, but only one of the routes is translated. Kata no Kyokai has an anime adaptation that is 9 movies, and Witch on the Holy Night recently got released, or rather a re-release version of the visual novel, with voice acting and official English translation. It's the first officially translated visual novel from Type Moon. It's also getting a movie adaptation by UFO Table, but there's not a lot of info on it. How much movies is it gonna be? Is it just gonna be 1? I don't know. The visual novel is pretty short though, so probably, yeah, I guess. Alright then, that's about it for the video. Bye!
New method 2. Just do it. Just read the visual novel. Like, it's 70 hours long, whatever, but it's like what? 3 different stories? That's like 20 to 30 hours per story, whatever. Like 20 hours, I guess, yeah.